Thursday and Friday, this will be a 2-day major storm with snow measured in feet. And this will be the biggest 2-day dumping of snow that we've seen so far this season. Now, I do have to go back to something just in the beginning so we can clear the air here. Yes, what's been going on so far this season up to mid-February is classic La Nina. Drier than normal conditions in Southern California and the Southwest. Wetter than normal for the Pacific Northwest to about far northern California. That's mostly been the case. There's been some hit and miss moments in Oregon and Washington, but you can see this pattern right here. Blues and greens are average or above average. Then all the reds and the darker reds are how far below average that we are. And the state's almost split in half here with this one, with some true generous atmospheric rivers really nailing the most northern portion of the state right here. So this has been very hit and miss, very hot and cold. But if you go back to the pattern that we're currently in, which is La Nina, this is what you would almost expect statistically to happen. And this is where we are at the moment. With that said, we're not done yet. Southern California is getting the storm over the next couple of days, the biggest one of the season for them so far, which is going to help the numbers but not alleviate their situation. And then for us, surprisingly, once you get south of Redding, Red Bluff, we're actually below average. We're below average by about 3/4 of an inch for San Francisco, about 1/2 inch for Sacramento. When you see South Lake Tahoe numbers, they expect more precipitation at higher elevations. So this looks like a way bigger deal than down low. But when you actually look at the snowpack numbers, it's not that bad. Clearly, though, Southern California, all across the board, major issues well below average. Now, with that said, we are not in danger, by the way, of running out of water or anything like that, or even a major drought on the way, because the way that it works in California, obviously you want rain and snow in what you would expect amounts for all the three major regions, northern, central, and southern. But most of the big reservoirs are focused in far northern California and even central California, and they're all just about right here. Now, when you look at the red line, that's your historical average right here. And then you can see how far above we are. This is Trinity, the biggest one. We've got Oroville, we've got Shasta, Don Pedro, and we're just in really good shape. They will never, at this time of the season, let it go all the way up. The reason why is if that you're topped up in February, and let's just say we get a monster series of storms, where's that water going to go? There is no buffer in the reservoirs, and right now they need that because it's used for flood protection. Now, the primary purpose of a reservoir right now is flood protection. Later on, once we get to March and April, their numbers change, and then it's more water retention. And then later on, it's power generation, it's environmental use, it's water supply, obviously, for urban, suburban, and also agricultural and industrial uses. So it changes, but right now, it's flood protection. Okay, here's our weather headlines for today on this Wednesday. We are looking at rain and snow coming in later on tonight. And yes, this is an atmospheric river. These brighter colors getting picked up from other spots that are much more moist as far as the air supply. But this one's starting off more north, and there's already a lot of cold air in place. So this one's not going to be as wet as something that can really make that strong connection down to the subtropics. That's when you get 2, 3, 4 inches of rain in a day. But the snow levels are really high, so it's good for water, but not much else, and you tend to run into flooding issues. This one is a solid rainstorm. It's a very solid snowstorm, so it's very evenly split as far as some of the benefits that we're going to get out of this. Like I showed you, we're still below average, and rain in the bucket still is an important metric as far as the soil moisture, greening of the grass, and everything else. So here's where we are early this Wednesday morning. We have clouds moving through, and that's about it. Just off the coast, maybe some sprinkles, but this is not really our moment yet. This storm is still taking shape. You can see the classic comma starting to really be noticeable out here in the Pacific. So there's your area of low pressure. There's your moisture supply. Like I mentioned, we already have cold air in place. It was single digits early this morning in places like Truckee, South Lake Tahoe. So all we need is just time, and this is going to make it here later on today. Now, anytime you've got a growing storm that's deepening and intensifying, you're going to get a lot of wind, and that's going to be the situation that's going to happen in the middle of the night tonight. This might wake you up with gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour. This also goes for the Sierra, and then it's going to be peaking very early in the morning and then it's going to start to get a little better, but noticeably windy through much of your Thursday, and then it will start to wane as the system leaves us by Friday afternoon. As far as the precipitation goes, this is an easy one. Some storms are really tricky. This is not one of those storms. It's going to get here just before midnight, and what's interesting and at least helpful for everybody, since this is such a wide area that we talk about, is that this is the way that it's shaped is that it's coming in at the same time for everybody. So this is going to be just before midnight, rain, snow for the higher elevations above 5,000 feet, really heavy in the middle of the night. You get to your early morning commute, and yeah, there's going to be problems. I mean, on a good day, there's problems in Sacramento. Let's be honest. You throw in about ½ an inch of rain overnight, if not a little bit more. The roads are wet. Visibility's low. Trucks are going to be spitting up that mist. It's just going to be a problem, so watch out for that. And in the Sierra, definitely when you're waking up early Thursday morning, chain controls will already be in place. They're not going away all day on Thursday, even though there's going to be this weird gap in the middle of the day where it's not raining for maybe 2 to 3 hours or so. Then it will be coming back. Rain will be then spotty at times, hit and miss showers, but some thunderstorms embedded with that as well, which means gusty winds, hail, lightning, all very possible with the late stage of this system while it's still consistently snowing very hard in the Sierra. And then you get to your Friday moment where in the morning, we're mostly clearing out. The snow is starting to slow down, but it's not done yet. And then once we get past the late in the day convection, where we could get a random shower, we are well and truly done by Friday night. Rain and snow and everything in between, even the wind is going away as well. So what we're going to have is about 1.5 to 2 inches of valley rain. Obviously, it goes up when you move up the hill because that orographic lift effect. So we're going to be looking pretty good there. And then for your, by the way, the other model likes it a little bit wetter. So it's going to be a solid storm. Any way you cut it. All the models agree, all the meteorologists agree this is going to happen. So it's going to be a one and done storm because once we get past this, once we get into the weekend and definitely next week, going out to almost the end of February, a brand new pattern emerges where it's likely going to be warmer. It's also leaning drier than normal. So this is going to be a longer lasting dry stretch once we get past that storm. By the way, this one Sunday storm is a lot of cloud covers, just one little chunk of moisture left over. I'm not expecting that much rain if anything happens, but just heads up on Sunday, gray. We could be looking at a random shower before it's all said and done, but clearing up later on. And the big story for next week becomes how warm we get with temperatures in the valley spots near 70 degrees. So here's all the busyness going on around. The roads are in great shape, by the way, today. If you have any Sierra travel, and let's just say you have some wiggle room and you plan on being in the Sierra for the long holiday weekend, but you don't want to travel during bad weather, today is your day to do it. Hey, some people have great schedules and they're able to do that. But if you're not able to, just expect worsening conditions tonight and definitely on Thursday and Friday. It's not going to be great driving up there. And I do expect momentary road closures because of all sorts of reasons. Sometimes it's too many crashes. Sometimes you can't see. Sometimes there's just too much snow. So there's lots of reasons why they may close it at times. The snow is going to help. Only the northern Sierra is above average right now. The central Sierra is getting there. Southern Sierra is about half of where we need to be. So statewide, we're okay. I'm really not too worried about the snowpack because of mostly the northern Sierra, but we really do need more snow, and that's certainly going to help. Again, as far as travel goes, we are expecting chain controls at least through Thursday and Friday, depending on conditions on the road. It may be lasting longer for other spots. 88 comes to mind. It might even go till Saturday. But the bottom line is this. Today is your travel day. Once we get to tonight and through Thursday and Friday, at least, we're looking at chain controls and just slow going. Remember, the speed limit in chain control is 25 to 35 miles per hour. It is not 65. People that try and test that find themselves in trouble quickly. So 2 to 4 feet is what we're forecasting for the higher elevations. That snow level is going to be roughly between 5,000 and 6,000 feet for the most of it, although dropping slightly to 4,000 feet at times. And remember, before all this, the resorts have had enough snow to get going. They've been making snow where they need to, but that's probably about done since we're so late in the season and they have what they need to basically get all the access areas open. So we're looking at decent coverage so far, and all we need is some fresh, nice, soft, high-quality snow, and that's exactly what we're going to get for your Thursday and your Friday. And folks, this is a long holiday weekend, so if you have not been up there in a while, when this happens, snow, before a long holiday weekend, it is going to get busy. This goes for skiers, for snowboarders, for the people that live there, for the people that just want to, quote unquote, be up in the snow. And then we're also looking for just day trippers going up, sledding, snowmen throwing some snowballs, and then heading right back down the hill. This is going to be a very busy day, so watch where you park. There's not many places that are legal, by the way, and CHP is well aware of this. They will ticket you, but have fun, have a plan, enjoy it. I'm Rob Carlmark.